This summary is about the book 8 Brain Rules. In this book, you will learn about why sleep is the brain's reset button, how exercise sharpens the mind, the power of focusing on one task at a time, how to manage stress, the importance of repetition for memory, why visuals are more effective than text, how emotions drive action, and why the brain needs breaks to function optimally. Think about it. You have the same 24 hours in a day as any scientist, billionaire, or Olympic athlete. The only difference is that they know how to use their minds differently. Have you ever wondered how some people stay continuously productive without getting tired, while many of us feel exhausted as soon as we wake up? Sometimes it feels like our own mind has become an obstacle in our path. On some days, you just want to leave everything and lie in bed. The to-do list is very long, but the energy is zero. When you sit down to focus, distractions dance in your head, phone notifications, the glitter of social media, and the restlessness of the mind that changes the channel every 5 minutes. Now, just imagine a day when you wake up feeling fresh. Your mind works with complete clarity. You finish every task before time without any pressure. And at the end of the day, there's no fatigue, but a satisfaction that you have mastered your mind today and not the other way around. This is not a fantasy. This is science. Neuroscience has made it clear how our brain makes decisions, how it gets entangled in distractions, and how we can rewire it to become super productive. The only difference is that we have to play with our brain according to its rules, not against them. Imagine if you found the shortcut buttons for your brain with which you could control stress, turn on motivation, and delete laziness. What would your life look like? This journey begins right here, where you will learn the 8 brain rules that will take your productivity to a new level. These rules are already inside you. You just have to unlock them. But there is a warning. Once you understand them, you will never be able to work in the old way again. Now the question is, are you ready to explore the hidden powers of your own mind? Rule 1. Sleep, the brain's reset button. Do you remember a morning when you woke up without an alarm? Your eyes opened on their own, and only one word came from your heart. Wow, I feel different today. Your head felt light, your mind was calm, and energy was bursting out. It felt as if the brain had renewed itself. But how often do such days come? Maybe once a week, or not even once a month. Often we consider sleep a luxury, not a necessity. Work first, sleep later. With this thought, we waste nights in the light of our mobile screens. And then the next morning, it's the same situation. Heavy eyes, a tired brain, and an incomplete day. But the truth is that sleep doesn't just give you rest. It's your brain's reset button. When you sleep, your brain sits back and cleans up. It removes all the useless thoughts, the accumulated pieces of stress, and the clouds of confusion. It stores memories properly, balances emotions, and clears your thinking. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to make small decisions when you've had a good night's sleep? Your intuition becomes sharp. You don't get irritated. Your focus remains intact. And most importantly, your motivation feels natural, not forced. Now, just imagine waking up like this every day, fresh, clear, and full of fire. How much would everything change? Your speed, your clarity, your creativity. Everything would be on the next level. But this is where the problem lies. We start multitasking even with our sleep. The mind remains active even while sleeping. Netflix is playing, or Instagram Reels are being scrolled. Far from shutting down, the brain is overheating even more. And then a silent war begins between your brain and your habits. Now the time has come to understand that productivity begins in bed, where you tell your brain, now you rest. Tomorrow, you have to fly. When you make this a habit, you not only learn how to manage time, but you also learn how to put your energy and attention in the right place. Prioritizing sleep means giving your brain the respect it deserves, because only a well-rested brain can work the magic that changes the world. So the next time you feel like scrolling late at night, just ask yourself one question. Will this little theft of sleep steal my dreams of tomorrow? Now the choice is yours. Do you want to put your brain to sleep or burn it out? Rule 2. Exercise. Move your body, Sharpen your mind. Sometimes it feels like the mind has become foggy. Every thought is moving in slow motion. If you try to work, your attention scatters. If you try to read, you can't understand the words. And if you talk to someone, the response feels mechanical, as if something heavy is sitting inside. No happiness, no clarity, just a strange lethargy. What do we do in such a situation? We drink more tea, increase our screen time, or hide ourselves in some other distraction. But deep down, we know that the solution is not in these things. Now, just imagine you're in the same state, but you've just done a 20-minute brisk walk or a simple workout, a little stretching, a little running, and as soon as your breath quickens, as soon as your heart beats faster, you feel that the fog in your mind is starting to clear. One by one, all the emotions start to reset. This is not magic. This is the raw, primal connection between the body and the brain. When your body moves, your brain wakes up. Many people think that exercise is only for the muscles, but the reality is that it is fuel for your mind. Every time you sweat, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals that make you happy, motivated, and focused. And this is not just a temporary boost. Regular movement literally changes the structure of your brain. It strengthens the neurons that are responsible for your focus, memory, and creativity. You must have noticed that when you're thinking of a new idea or trying to solve a problem, it is better to think while walking than sitting. The movement of the body creates a rhythm in the brain, and that same rhythm streamlines your thoughts. But our modern life has made us so static that we have started considering ourselves just sitting machines. From morning to night, it's a chair, couch, car seat, then bed. And slowly the energy that used to be our identity withers away. Exercising doesn't mean going to the gym. It means giving oxygen to your brain, bringing your emotions into flow, and making your body so alert that the mind naturally becomes activated. When you tell yourself, I will just walk for 10 minutes today, those 10 minutes can take you to a world where clarity, confidence, and calmness become your default state. Exercise is the key to your brain that opens the doors of productivity. And the best part is that this key is always with you. You just need to turn it every day. So the next time your mind feels dull, motivation disappears, or a task feels heavy, ask yourself, do I want to sit or get up and walk? Because sometimes a simple step can shift your entire life.
Rule 3. Focus. One task at a time. Have you ever found yourself doing 5 things at once? A phone in one hand, typing on the laptop with the other, a replay of some old conversation is running in your mind, a YouTube video is also playing in the background, and on top of that, your mind is reminding you that something else needs to be done. But still, at the end of the day, when you stop, the question arises, what did I do today? And the answer is, I tried to do a lot, but nothing got completed. This is the false comfort of multitasking. You think you're managing a lot, but in reality, your brain keeps jumping from one task to another every 10 seconds. And with every jump, your energy breaks down. Focus is not a luxury. It is a superpower. And all the truly successful people in this world have mastered this power. Because when your mind is completely fixed on one task, your brain waves work like a laser beam. You go into a depth where creativity explodes, clarity becomes crystal clear, and time feels like it has flown by. But the modern world pulls us away from focus. Every beep, every notification, every vibration disconnects you from your original thinking. Your brain slowly becomes addicted to shallow thinking, short videos, short thoughts, short attention, and then short success. Now imagine a day where you focused on only one task with complete dedication and presence. No distractions, no unnecessary switching, just you and that task. A quiet, deep connection. What would be the quality of that work? What would be that feeling when you raise your head after completing it? This is the power of deep work, where work doesn't just mean ticking off a task, but immersing yourself in it. Regaining focus is not an impossible task, but it is a conscious decision. You have to teach your mind that not everything is important right now. And when you do that, the mind resists, makes you feel bored, and increases the craving for distractions. But if you hold on in that moment, you find yourself in a new world where your mind is calm and your actions are powerful. Once you achieve this, you can do more impactful work in less time. And this is the real face of productivity. It's not loud. It's quiet. It's not scattered, it's centered. So the next time you are engaged in a task, just ask one question. Am I truly present in this task? If the answer is no, take a pause. Take a deep breath and just dive into that one task. Because when you focus 100% on one task, that's where you start becoming extraordinary. Rule 4. Stress. Manage it before it manages you. Sometimes we are sitting quietly, but a storm is raging inside. Our breathing is fast, our heart is anxious, and our mind is drowned in some unknown fear. There is no clear reason, yet it feels like something very wrong is about to happen. This is stress, which is not visible from the outside, but eats us up from the inside. The most dangerous thing about stress is that it comes slowly and we get used to living with it. We ignore it by calling it normal pressure, I'm a little busy, or my mind is a bit off today. But the truth is, stress is never silent. It slows down our thinking every day, weakens our focus, and fills our decisions with fear. Now, imagine you are working on a task. Everything seems fine on the surface, but inside there is the pressure of anxiety. You are judging yourself for every small mistake, overthinking at every step, and associating every result with failure. What will be the quality of that task? How painful will that journey be? Stress burns productivity from the inside. And it doesn't just affect the mind, your body also reacts. Sleep gets disturbed, energy remains low, and slowly you learn to live with fatigue. But this doesn't mean that stress cannot be avoided. Stress is not an enemy. It is a signal. It tells you that something is out of balance somewhere. And when you learn to listen to the signal, that's when you start managing stress, not ignoring it. The first step is to take a pause. When you feel that there is restlessness inside, stop everything for a while. No phone, no talking, just connect with yourself. Take a deep breath and ask your mind, what do you need right now? Sometimes the mind needs space, sometimes clarity, and sometimes just the reassurance that you are not alone. Another powerful way to handle stress is movement. When the body moves, emotions also flow. Take a walk, do some stretching, or just spend a few minutes in the open air. The mind will automatically start to feel stable. And most importantly, reset your expectations. We expect ourselves to be perfect. We put pressure on ourselves to do everything quickly, and in this pressure, we lose ourselves. But remember, you are not a machine. You are a human being with feelings, limitations, and most importantly, the capacity to heal. Managing stress means giving your mind the respect it deserves, listening to it, understanding it, and living in cooperation with it. Because if you don't stop stress, one day stress will stop you. Now the only question is, will you let yourself burn out, or will you start healing yourself by taking a small step today? The choice is yours, and so is your peace. Rule 5. Repeat to remember. Have you ever felt that you hear some things again and again, but when you need them, you can't remember them? Like having read an important idea, written down an inspiring quote, or learned a concept. But when it was time to take action, the mind went completely blank. Sometimes we think, maybe my memory is weak. But that's not the truth. The truth is, our brain doesn't store information just by hearing or seeing it. It strengthens it through repetition. Our brain is like a muscle. You can't get a six-pack by going to the gym once. Similarly, you can't remember something by reading it just once. Real retention comes from repetition. When you hear something again and again, think about it again and again, then that thing no longer remains just information, it becomes a part of your mind. That's why the lines of songs you never try to remember are on the tip of your tongue, because you have repeated them, heard them, felt them, and absorb them. Now imagine if you apply the same technique to your goals, your learning, and your values. Can't you embed them within you forever? But this is the biggest problem in modern life. We consume new things every day, but we don't repeat them. We look for inspiration, but we don't integrate it. You heard a great idea, felt motivated, and then swiped to the next reel. This is the reason why we remain inspired but not transformed. Repetition is not boring. It is the language of the brain. When you say an idea to yourself again and again, when you read it twice a day, when you write it down, your brain prioritizes it. And this is what builds your habits, influences your decisions, and designs your results. If you want to learn a skill, change an emotion, or develop a mindset, start repeating it daily. It will feel awkward at first. The brain will resist, but slowly those new thoughts will sink into your subconscious. And then you yourself will be surprised at how clearly you have started thinking, how confident your decisions have become, and how quickly you are growing. Repetition turns knowledge into memory and memory into action. So the next time a powerful thought touches your heart, don't just let it pass. Grab it, repeat it, absorb it, because what you think again and again becomes your identity.
Rule 6. Visuals beat text. Have you ever read a line in a book that you understood at the time, but forgot a few days later? And then one day you saw a simple picture that shook you to the core without saying a word. This is the real power of visuals. Our brain understands pictures faster, feels them more deeply, and remembers them for a longer time than words. When you see an image, the brain absorbs the entire picture at once. Color, emotion, meaning, everything in a flash. To read text, we have to concentrate, to decode the meaning, but visuals go straight to the heart and mind. Now, imagine you have to understand a new concept. There are two choices. Read a long paragraph, or look at an infographic in which the same thing is explained through colors and shapes. Most people will choose the second option. Why? Because it's faster, clearer, and naturally engaging. When learning happens with visuals, it doesn't feel dry. It becomes an experience. This is the reason why children's books have pictures. But as we grow up, we leave that habit, and then learning starts to feel boring. Now think about it. If you want to increase your productivity, master a skill, or remember an idea, why not make visuals a part of your thinking? Mind maps, diagrams, color-coded notes, sketching ideas, all these keep your brain engaged. You don't just think with logic, but also with imagination, and this imagination becomes the fuel that takes your thinking to the next level. Visuals give you clarity, as if the path suddenly becomes clear in a fog. When you turn a goal into an image, put it on a vision board, it no longer remains just a dream. It becomes a visual reality that pulls you, inspires you, and reminds you every day why you started. Visuals are not just seen, they are also felt. And when something is felt, it is not forgotten. So, if you want your thoughts to remain organized, your ideas to be remembered, and your mind to be fresh every day, then make visuals your best friend along with text. Because in this fast-paced world where everyone is chasing information, only those people get ahead who learn to visualize it. Now the choice is yours. Do you just want to read everything, or do you want to see it, feel it, and make it a part of your life? Rule 7. Emotions drive action. Whether we admit it or not, our decisions, our goals, our productivity, all of these are driven not by logic, but by emotion. You must have also noticed that when our heart connects with something, we can spend nights working on it without getting tired, without stopping. But if the heart is not in it, the same work becomes a burden. We feel like procrastinating and every minute feels heavy. Sometimes we push ourselves. Be disciplined. Don't waste time. Don't be lazy. But still, the motivation is missing from within. Why? Because the logic is there, but the emotion is missing. Emotion is the invisible force that can set fire to any action. If you don't have an emotional connection to a goal, then that goal just remains a list, a task that you want to check off, but not live. Now just think, when a mother stays up all night for her child, when a soldier risks his life for his country, when an artist works on the same painting for a month, are they doing it just out of routine? No. There is emotion there. There is a deep drive, a personal meaning. Emotions awaken the sleeping energy inside you. When a work feels not just necessary but personal, a different kind of fire rises from within, and this fire makes the action unstoppable. The problem arises when we plan our work only with logic. I should do this. I have to reach there. But we don't think about why I want to do this. There should be an emotional reason behind every action, a reason that touches your heart, because when the heart is involved, the mind naturally gets aligned. If you want your mind to get out of distractions, if you want to feel inspired as soon as you wake up, then first find out what connection your work has with your heart. Connect every task to a story. Find an emotion behind every goal, whether it's happiness, pain, guilt, pride, or an unfulfilled dream, because emotions are the engine that moves the mind. And when your brain works with an emotional drive, your productivity becomes not mechanical, but magical. So the next time you start procrastinating on a task, don't ask yourself whether you should do it or not. Instead, ask, what is my feeling connected to this work? Because when the reason comes from the heart, the action doesn't stop. Rule 8. The brain needs breaks. Sometimes we expect ourselves to work like a machine, continuously, without stopping, without getting tired, completing tasks from morning to night, checking off goals, and showing maximum productivity every day. But the truth is, we are not machines. We are human beings, and no matter how powerful our brain is, it also has its limits. Have you ever noticed that when you work for hours without a break, after a point the mind starts to feel blank? The body is on the chair, but the focus wanders somewhere else. You look at the screen, but you don't understand anything. A fatigue settles on the brain that is not just physical, but mental. This is the moment when your brain signals to you, I need some air now. But what do? We feel guilty. If I take a break, I will waste time. We force ourselves. Let me do a little more, then I will rest. But in that little more, we lose our energy, focus, and creativity. Taking a break is not a weakness. It is a way to recharge your productivity. Inside our brain, there are ultradian rhythms, a natural cycle that runs every 90 to 120 minutes. This means that your brain can work at peak focus for only that much time at a stretch. After that, it needs to be reset. If you ignore that reset, you slowly get stuck in a low energy zone instead of high performance. But when you give your brain short breaks at the right time, the mind becomes sharp again. Small breaks of 5 or 10 minutes in which you sit with your eyes closed, take a little walk, or take deep breaths, all these give your brain silent power. And then the same mind that had slowed down before now works with double the clarity and speed. Breaks don't take you back. They give you the strength to bounce back. But this is possible only when you take a break with awareness, not guilt. Your mind works for you all day. It solves complex problems, handles emotions, and maintains focus. Doesn't it deserve a little rest too? Sometimes the most productive thing to do is to do nothing, just to take a pause and feel yourself again in that pause. Because when you give your brain space, it gives you answers that you never get in a non-stop hustle. So the next time your mind feels tired and your heart says, just stop for a bit, then stop, quietly, without guilt, with full respect, because this is the stop from where your real speed starts again.
Conclusion. When you started this video, maybe you just wanted to know how to do more work, get less tired, and get faster results. But now you have completed a journey where you have not only understood productivity, but also the real power of your brain. You have learned how sleep is not just a habit, but the refreshing power of the brain, how moving the body sharpens the mind, how focusing completely on one task is the real superpower, how it is important to understand stress instead of suppressing it, how repetition, visuals, and emotions together together turn your brain into a creative engine, and how a small break can be the beginning of your biggest breakthrough. These 8 brain rules are not boring theories. They are the silent weapons that you can use in your daily life to go from ordinary to extraordinary. But now there is one question. Will you just listen to these rules and let them go? Or will you start living them? Because action is what turns knowledge into power. The decision is in your hands.